Donald Trump wants you to think that we have already lost, that we have been defeated, that we cannot fight back against his authority and project. But that is simply not true. Every day, Donald Trump loses in court. He loses in the court of public opinion with his tanking approval rating. And we can win this fight. And we are going to on the issue of free speech, because after Donald Trump forced the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel last night, he was immediately hit back with the legal bombshell that is blowing up this attack on speech. We are gonna get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you have not already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now before we get into that legal bombshell and how this administration is panicking, I wanna start with what I thought was a perfect response to Donald Trump's attack on free speech from J.B. Pritzker right here.
A free and democratic society cannot silence comedians because the president doesn't like what they say. This is an attack on free speech and cannot be allowed to stand. All elected officials need to speak up and push back on this undemocratic act. Joining me now is Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. This is, as I just said, this is much bigger than a media story. It feels to me, first of all, Brendan Carr went out today, the FCC chair, and basically called out Jimmy Kimmel by name. And then a couple of hours later, he was put on indefinite, hiatus, suspension, whatever you want to call it. Does this feel, it feels to me like obedience in advance. Does it feel to you like that?
It's intimidation, clearly. And this is what we're seeing across the board from the Trump administration. They're using the power of the government to go after businesses, to get them to do things that they need or want, right? Either to pay them, as we have seen, or to fire people, as we have seen. And here we have a comedian. I mean, this is somebody who's on every night, frankly, probably offending somebody every single night.
He may have made fun of you before.
Indeed, he has. And so I just want to say that, we should not be going after people for this. Look, did he get some things wrong? Yeah. I mean, but he is not a commentator, a news anchor. This is somebody who's a comedian, for goodness sakes. And now we've got the Trump administration literally targeting individuals. You saw it with Stephen Colbert. Now you're seeing it with Kimmel. Anybody that's criticizing this administration, they're using the power of government to intimidate companies to fire people.
You said, and you never hold.
Being a mega Republican is really all about embracing hypocrisy. If you can just embarrass yourself, debase yourself like J.D. Vance does every day, and give up on any values you report to have, then it's really easy to be mega. These people do not care about speech. They have never cared about speech. We have to stop pretending like they are good faith actors. This is what we see with those even on the left right now, lionizing Charlie Kirk. We see folks like Ezra Klein saying he did politics the right way and cared about free speech. That's just bullshit. Charlie Kirk was at college campuses to make a profit and to get his clips to go viral. Sure, he wanted to change people's mind with bigoted ideas and disgusting bile, but he did not care about free speech. He did not advocate for the freeing of Mahmoud Khalil, who Donald Trump has now ordered to be deported again for, or speaking out against a genocide that we are adding in with our tax dollars. No, these people do not care. And it's why it is unsurprising Donald Trump had this reaction to Jimmy Kimmel.
Vance said that free speech is under attack in the UK. Do you agree with him? And Prime Minister, we saw the dismissal of a very well-known chat show host in America last night, Mr. Kimmel. Is free speech more under attack in Britain or America?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
Of course, it's because of his ratings. The tanking ratings. The ratings are low. You know what rating is really fucking low right now. Donald Trump's approval rating. That's what's tanking. That is what's in the shitter. It is not Jimmy Kimmel. This is so obvious. This administration could not care less about any of the ideas that they talked about as being fundamental on the campaign. The weaponization government, that is all Donald Trump has done. The caring about the crisis of affordability, inflation is skyrocketing because of idiotic tariffs that are effectively taxes on working people. And now they wanna make Charlie Kirk that disgusting bigot some tariffs so that they can carry out the rest of this project. No, we are not gonna let it happen. We are not going to accept defeat. Maybe that's what ABC wants to do and in ahead of time concede and say, oh, Trump administration's gonna come after us. We might as well concede, but we are not gonna do that. We are gonna fight back. And so is the Robert Garcia and Araika Swalwell with some legal bombshells for Trump. Ranking member Robert Garcia launches an investigation after ABC fires Jimmy Kimmel network caves to political pressure from Donald Trump administration. Rep. Robert Garcia, ranking member of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, released the following statement announcing he will be launching an investigation into the Trump administration. ABC and Sinclair aimed ongoing efforts to censor opposition to the president. Garcia said, every American has a duty to stand up for our First Amendment values. We will not be silent as our freedoms are threatened by corrupt schemes and threats. Anyone who is complicit will need to answer to us. And Erika Swalwell threatened a lawsuit with this clip right here.
There's going to be a Democratic majority in just over a year. And to the FCC chairperson and anyone involved in these dirty deals, get a lawyer and save your records, because you're going to be in this room and you're going to be answering questions about the deals that you struck and who benefited and what the cost was to the American people because that happened.
This is what I am talking about. Stop bending the knee. Stop admitting defeat before we even have the fight. It is worth it to go out there and fight them on everything I have felt like for so long. And I do not just want to make this a criticism of Democrats because, of course, who we want to criticize right now is Donald Trump. But our party needs to get in line and start acting like they care. So often we see Democrats, and I talked about this with West Moore, see an issue that maybe we are not the most popular on and go. Well, maybe we do not talk about that one. Maybe we shy away a little bit, it's bullshit. If you believe in your heart of hearts, if you are an elected official with policy that you think will make the world a better place, do not look at the polling. Do not look at the message testing. Go out there, deliver it. Convince people your job is not to be a pawn for lobbyists and corporate money in APAC. It is to do the job of governing, and sometimes your position may start as unpopular work to make them popular. How far have we come in on so many issues, even within the decades of Donald Trump attacking our rights, where we have shifted public opinion in a way that is undeniable? Why? Because we have actually gone out there and talked about these issues. We have to do that. We have to have these conversations. We have to say, we have to not write strongly worded letters, but call people in to be put under oath and have them try to scream out of their crimes because they cannot. They will be caught and they should be prosecuted under the next Democratic administration. That is what we should have. Reopen alligator Alcatraz for Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem. Forget throw Petty Hexathan there with a couple bottles of gin to keep him company. That is what we should be doing. We should make it very clear that we will not kowtow, we will not bow, we will not bend the knee, we will not say, well, I do not know. We cannot take on every fight. There is so much saving of the ammunition. All right, we gotta keep the powder dry. This is not a political fight. Let's save up for the really good political fight. Every political fight should be had right now. This is an authoritarian. If you give him an inch, he will take a mile. So stop giving him miles and then letting him take over the entire country. Fight back. Thank you, Robert Garcia. Thank you, Rex Falwell. Thank you for making it clear that we should not bend on this. That we should not say, oh, well, that's Trump. That's Trump's gonna do. That's what the corporations are gonna do. They are ultimately gonna cave. They are ultimately gonna bend the knee. Get fed up. Convince people of why this is so important, and the right had the majority of Americans believing that they cared more than we do about free speech. How is that playing out right now? Not very well. So you need to go out there and convince people. Do not worry about what the politics of any given issue are. Oh, have some moral clarity on so many of these issues. Have we not seen the shift in how Americans view what is genocide in Gaza? Have we had not seen the huge swing in public opinion where now, maybe in the next administration we can get our government out of this war crime that is sending our tax dollars, sending weapons to be used to kill innocent children in Gaza? Yeah, Maybe we can move this issue forward. Maybe we can change how things are done and why. Because public opinion has shifted, because people have talked about this issue. They have had these heartbreaking images of children in Gaza in front of people 24/7. That is how you change people's mind. You have to talk to them. And you cannot be afraid to fight back against this administration. You have to talk about this. J.B. Pritzker certainly did some more right here.
People are just digesting this. It's a part of a pattern. What does that look like? What is the kind of pressure you think politicians or people watching right now could put on ABC or Disney or others about this?
Well, first, everybody should be saying that ABC should reverse their decision. This is not something they should have been doing. I don't think that ABC, at least historically, has not been an organization that has exhibited this kind of behavior. But, you know, now we're seeing the pressure that can be brought by the federal government. You can imagine the pressure that's on Disney and ABC and on their business based upon, well, what's been said so far today. And so I must say, I do not understand why people are not standing up and pushing back when they ought to. Because what's at stake here is free speech. It's our Constitution and our way of life. Do we really want the President of the United States intimidating people, organizations to get others fired? This is not that moment. People ought to be standing up and speaking out. What can they do? Well, it's what I've been saying for some time now, which is if we want to get action, we now can't rely upon a MAGA-controlled Congress. We can't rely on the President of the United States, seemingly, although we'll see whether we can rely on the Supreme Court of the United States. Increasingly, it doesn't appear that way. And so we only have one other thing to do, which is public action. People actually speaking up, speaking out, boycotting, showing up and protesting, and their representatives who agree with them doing the very same.
What should people be boycotting right now? This is bigger than just today's story, but what does that look like?
It is, but I think if we can work on ABC to make them understand.
If you are a Democrat, now is the time to fight myself. Other creators, other folks on YouTube are under attack just as much as you are. I do not know if Donald Trump can call up the CEO of YouTube or Google, who went to his little White House dinner and say, "Hey, those touch guys, shut them down. That Brian Taylor, Cohen guy, shut them down. Adam Mockler, shut them down." We do not know, and then we do not know if they can decide. All right, we are silenced now. How about they go after us? How about they persecute us? We do not have platform anymore to talk about how Donald Trump is gonna try to do whatever he can send his guns after us. So now, yeah, go after him. Let's quell speech. Let's intimidate people. Let's try to make an example out of people speaking out against this administration. We do not know if that's coming, but you can be rest assured that we do not give a fuck. That we are gonna continue to call them out. That we are gonna continue to fight. So if we are able to do that, where are our elected representatives? Please take up the fight. We need it now. In a moment in which they are so desperate to silence us, should not you be as loud as possible? I certainly think so. And we are gonna be on this show. And if you wanna support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, drop a blue heart in the comments, and until next time, I will see you soon.